Are you sabotaging your baby's tummy time without even realizing it? There is a very big chance that you are if you're making one of these 5 common tummy time mistakes. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what these mistakes are, and then I'm going to show you how to fix them so that your baby can actually start tolerating or maybe even enjoying tummy time. So let's move on to the first mistake, which is waiting too long to start tummy time. The best time to start tummy time is the day that you bring your baby home from the hospital. Yes, this means even if their umbilical stump is still present, and I'll cover exactly how to do tummy time with an umbilical stump attached later in this video. But a lot of parents don't realize this and they leave it until later to get started. And the problem with this is that it can actually make it more challenging for your little one. And here's why. If your baby spends all their wait time on their back or in your arms or in a baby carrier or a bouncer, then when they are placed on their tummy, it's completely unfamiliar. Think about it. They've never experienced this position before. So when you do finally try tummy time with your little one, it feels strange and uncomfortable for them, and they express this through crying and protesting. It's like if you were to start exercising after months of doing nothing. Everything feels harder than it needs to be. But when you start tummy time from day one, it just becomes a part of your baby's daily routine, just like having their diaper changed or having a feed. Your little one accepts it as a normal part of their day because they've never known anything different. And this makes them much more likely to tolerate tummy time. However, even when you start early, there's another common mistake that can quickly derail tummy time, and that's doing tummy time for too long. I see it all the time. Parents place their baby on their tummy, expecting them to happily stay there for several minutes. Then, when their little one starts crying just after a few seconds, they assume that their baby hates tummy time and start avoiding it altogether. But in the beginning, it is totally normal for newborns to only tolerate tummy time for really short bursts, and this is because it's hard work. They're using all their tiny muscles to lift their head, which is surprisingly heavy, against gravity. It's like asking you to hold a plank for as long as possible. Now, if you're super fit, you'll find that easy, but if you're anything like me, that's not easy. It's the same for newborns. So please don't worry if your baby can only handle tummy time for a few seconds at first. That's completely normal in the beginning. Instead, just focus on quick little sessions throughout the day. So 1 to 2 minutes is a great starting point. And each time, try adding just a few more seconds. Over time and with lots of practice, your little one will get stronger and more comfortable in tummy time. And those quick sessions will naturally turn into longer stretches. That is, as long as you're choosing to do tummy time at the right time. If your baby is tired, hungry, or uncomfortable, tummy time isn't going to go well, even if you're only expecting them to do it for a few seconds. They'll fuss, cry, and resist, making it feel like they hate tummy time when really it's just not the right moment. It's similar to someone asking you to go for a walk when you're starving or ready for bed. You wouldn't enjoy that, and your baby won't either. Instead, you want to aim for those little windows where they're alert and content. Now, in those first few weeks, there might only be a handful of chances each day to squeeze in tummy time, as they'll most likely spend most of their time either sleeping or feeding, and that's okay. But as the weeks go by, you'll start to notice that your baby has more and more of these moments, times when they're awake without immediately falling asleep after a feed. That's when you'll find it easier to sneak in more tummy time sessions throughout the day. And when you are sneaking in these sessions, you might try to make tummy time more comfortable for your baby by placing layers of blankets on the floor or doing tummy time on a soft mattress or the bed. But those squishy, soft surfaces can actually make tummy time more difficult for your baby, and here's why. When your baby's arms and chest sink into the softness, it becomes harder for them to push down through their arms and lift their head. And on top of that, the lack of stability makes it really easy for them to tip over. So now, instead of just focusing on building those all-important neck and shoulder muscles, your baby is using extra energy to stay on their tummy and not tip over. On the other hand, doing tummy time on a firm, safe surface like a play mat or a baby gym helps your baby stay steady, making it easier for them to push up and lift their head and build the muscles they'll need for big milestones like rolling, crawling, and eventually walking. Actually, on that note, if you're wondering when your little one will start rolling over, crawling, walking, or hitting any of those other exciting first year milestones, plus signs that indicate your little one might need a little help, make sure you click the link in the description to grab my free developmental milestone guide. Okay, now let's talk about the most common tummy time mistake parents make, and that is making it too hard. Often when people hear tummy time, they think of placing their baby down on the floor on their tummy. But this is just one of 5 tummy time positions. And it's actually the most difficult form of tummy time to do. With a newborn, one of the keys to tummy time success is starting out with easier positions and increasing the difficulty as they develop. Take this first one, which is great for those early days when the umbilical stump is still present. It's called the football hold because, as you'll see, you're kind of holding them like a football. And here's how to do it. Simply rest your baby's head near your elbow and then let your forearm run between their little legs so that it's supporting their upper body and their tummy. Then you just lower your hands so that they're at a slight angle with their head higher than their bottom, as this makes it easier for them to lift their head. As they get stronger in this position, you want to gradually raise your arm until it's level. When you do this, your baby is having to work against more gravity to lift their head, which then makes it slightly harder to do. Next up is my absolute favorite tummy time position for newborns, and it's called the chest to chest tummy time. Now, the reason I like this is because it feels more like cuddle time than a workout, which means both you and your baby are more likely to enjoy it. To do this one, just find a comfy spot on your bed or on a couch and then lean back slightly. Then you just place your baby tummy down on your chest and place one hand on their bottom and the other hand on their elbow to give them some additional support and stability. This extra support makes it easier for them to do those all-important head lifts. And when they do lift their head, they'll see your face. And since that's their favorite thing to look at, you're much more likely to see smiles instead of tears. Another tummy time position you can try is across your lap. Now, honestly, this wasn't one that I use with my 3 children often, but it might work for you. To give this one a try, find a comfy spot on a couch or a chair and place your feet flat on the floor. Then lay your baby tummy down across your thighs and gently raise the leg that's underneath their chest so that their head is slightly higher than their bottom. Again, this angle makes it easier for them to lift their head. Then place one hand on their bottom for support and the other hand near their elbow to provide extra stability. And then just watch them lift their little head. If your little one finds that a little too challenging, they may like doing tummy time on an exercise ball. Now, I know this sounds a little scary and slightly unsafe, but it's really not. To do this one safely, just place your exercise ball on a non-slip surface as we want it to be nice and stable. Then lay your baby tummy down on the ball with their chest and arms resting on it. And put your hands securely around their ribs or their bottom because obviously we want to keep them on the ball. Then gently roll them forward and backwards. Now, what's great about this position is that the movement naturally encourages your baby to lift their head and push up with their arms. Plus, that gentle rocking motion can be really soothing for your little one. And of course, once your baby is around 1 month old, you can start doing tummy time directly on the floor. Now, initially, you can make this tummy time position a little easier for your little one by placing a rolled up towel underneath their chest. This raises their upper body and makes it easier for them to lift their head and push down through their arms. Then, as they get stronger, you can remove that towel and let them do it directly on the floor, just to make it a little more challenging. So the next time your little one is struggling to do tummy time, remember these other positions and try them out. There's bound to be one that works best for your baby. And remember, it all counts, whether they're on your chest, in your arms, across your legs, on the floor, or on that exercise ball. Every moment in tummy time is helping your little one build strength and develop those essential skills. It's honestly one of the most important things that you can do for your baby's development. But it's not the only one. There's another simple activity that's just as powerful that, like tummy time, you should start from day one. Research shows that this activity actually shapes your baby's brain architecture, creating a strong foundation for their future learning, behavior, and emotional well-being. Click here to watch this video next, where you'll learn what this brain boosting activity is and exactly how to do it with your little one. It's really easy to add into your everyday routine, and with so many benefits, I think it's worth doing whenever you get the chance. So head on over and watch that one next.